Right. Equanimity. Equanimity invites wisdom into our heart practices so that our hearts, minds can stay as steady and stable as possible and not be swept away by all the storms going on within us and around us. I have to say, when I was opening my computer this morning, one of the messages I got from an organization I've donated to, and I've had several like this with this message, and the message started out, "Now is not the time to despair." Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. And the worse things get, the more this is not the time to despair, paradoxically. Not the time to get swept away by discouragement, frustration, fear, or even overexuberance, or when our lack of control becomes clear, as Jay so clearly spoke to on Monday. Equanimity includes a willingness to accept and welcome all to the table. And maybe accept isn't the right word. Maybe better words are being willing to embrace and honor, as Jay talked about. Cherish all that arrives in this moment. Me, just as I am in this moment. You, just as you are in this moment. The world, just as it is in this moment. This isn't a passive acceptance, but an engaged embracing and honoring. The willingness to see how wobbly I get when I want this moment to be anything other than what it is. Equanimity says this is just how it is. It's all good, even if it doesn't all feel good. And it asks the question, if this is how it is, what are you going to do with it? And this is true whether I'm exuberant, angry, sad, bored, shameful, anxious, whatever feelings are present. Can I create the space to savor what is joyful, delightful, cultivate what is beneficial, soothe and comfort what is painful and difficult, release what is unhelpful, and engage with it all with kindness and compassion. Equanimity builds on metta, karuna, mudita, on kindness, compassion, and joy. It invites wisdom and expands and grows the heart practices. And this certainly doesn't mean controlling or subduing all of my emotions into submissive compliance. It's not like my old image in my head of a lion tamer with a whip and a chair, getting those difficult emotions to behave, those nasty experiences, those difficult thoughts to just go away, to behave themselves, to sit, to stay, to do what I want you to do. That's not it at all. Rather than lion tamer, think horse whisperer, coming alongside, moving with, and being with all these experiences. Nor is equanimity about just not feeling or thinking what is painful or unhelpful or not beneficial, and only experiencing the calm and the tranquil and the beautiful thoughts and feelings, like we all look like we're having when we see somebody else meditating. But as Bill points out, try to keep those unhelpful thoughts and painful feelings out and see how that works. They'll just keep coming even more ferociously. It's about staying a bit more steady and grounded in the midst of it all. Again, like Bill and Susan say, just see if you can allow 1% more ease and kindness, nothing heroic. So rather than seeing equanimity as feeling less, equanimity is really about strengthening our hearts, our cores, to be more able to feel and hold more. Now, I certainly thought for many years, if I could just feel less, or preferably not any anger, anxiety, frustration, impatience, well, then I would be more equanimous. But that's just aversion, pushing away, keeping out. And while this may superficially look like strength and is certainly amplified in our cultural messages, it's really pretty fragile and brittle and easily broken. Equanimity is built on the strengthening and opening of the heart as we practice engaging the first three Brahma Viharas and building kindness, compassion, joy, and then adding in the wisdom to discern the best moves that will allow our hearts to stay open, warm, and safe. This need for building a foundation is probably why, and this is one of my favorite stories on myself. In my first ever interview with Susan at the certificate meditation course, and 11, 12 years ago now, she asked me what my intention was. And I confidently said, well, I'd like to work on having more equanimity. And bless her heart, she looked at me with very kind eyes and a gentle, compassionate voice and said, oh, no, no, my darling, you're not ready for that yet. Well, as you might imagine, that I must admit it took me a bit aback. And it certainly took me many years to understand and really appreciate what she meant. My heart wasn't strong enough yet. I didn't have the necessary discernment and wisdom for equanimity. At that time, I just wanted to be rid of these nagging, difficult, intrusive feelings, anger and fear and anxiety. Just turn them off, get them out of here. I had no or little idea about how to hold and welcome and embrace these difficult feelings more kindly. And it's still a work in progress. So we grow our heart mind together so we can little by little stay a bit more steady, be a bit more at ease, so we can see things a bit more clearly, see what's going on in here, and be a bit more honest and courageous in our exploration as we practice moves like letting be and letting go, of moving towards or knowing when we need to back away a little bit, not push out, but just back up a little and hold more gently. When we can savor and when we need to soothe. This is what we do each time we check in at the beginning of our meditation. How's it going in there? Sweetheart, buddy, kiddo, darling. Applying discernment and wisdom to see what's needed in this moment. Some grounding, a bit of compassion to hold hurt and pain, some savoring to appreciate joy. What is a skillful move here to maintain our balance and grow? For example, as some of you might have noticed, when I got back from the Vallecitos retreat, I was a bit exuberant. I couldn't stop smiling. I couldn't smile any bigger. Um, But I needed to not only savor that joy and not be scared by it and be happy for my happy, but also to realize that I needed to tether it a bit, tether it to this body breathing and ground and steady and stabilize as well to make it sustainable. So it just didn't go flying off someplace. Wisdom helped with the awareness also of the impermanence of this joy, appreciating how it certainly wasn't going to last forever, not to deny it in the moment, but to let it pass through on its own time schedule, to appreciate it without gripping or chasing it, especially as I left the retreat and re-entered my daily life and let myself come in for a safe, soft landing, holding joy as well as the very difficult realities of the world, the sadnesses and sorrows in my own life and in others' lives, and how to grow my heart so it could hold all of it. So we practice to befriend more of ourselves in our world. And a phrase that Bill and Susan often use that applies is making the unwanted wanted, whether those are aspects of ourselves or of our world. A loving and warmly welcoming come as you are party, whether it's my shame, my grief, my gladness, my contentment, my anger, or my fear. When I realized at last week's retreat at Copper Beach. Yes, my second retreat in less than a month. It was glorious. I realized that shame was an aspect of myself that I had been abandoning for quite some time. And I literally invited my shame to have breakfast with me. I offered it the seat next to me at the table and provided it kindness and encouragement when all she wanted to do was to hide under the table. Continue to invite her to the table. She had a place, she belonged, she deserved to be honored and welcomed in this space, in the space of my life. So when we notice we are wobbling out of balance, we can be grateful for this noticing and kindly welcome ourselves and our world just as we are into this caring embrace of equanimity. So let's practice that. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you so very much. Let's settle back, settle in, see what's here. Invite all to this come as you are party. I love it. We come as we are to our little squares on the computer. And we open up the bodies together. See what the body needs. Does it need a stretch? Does it need any special movement? Any lubricating of the joints? Any shaking out? Tapping to loosen any gripping that's going on? Oh, touching or rubbing any places that are a bit more cranky. Appreciating spaces that already feel a bit soft and loose and comfortable. So much that goes on in our bodies. And just appreciate whatever settling you can create in this moment. savoring the comfort of the body, coming to just a bit more ease, a bit more groundedness, a bit more spaciousness. And perhaps oriented towards the breathing that's already happening. Welcoming each breath with gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, my body, for breathing me in this moment. And just noticing how whatever shows up can be greeted with warmth and kindness, just as it is. Just being willing to check in again. What could the heart use in this moment? What could be welcomed and cherished just 1% more in this moment? And in the remaining 5 minutes of this practice, just settling back with a bit more ease and softening, and perhaps a few drops of gratitude. Thank you again so very much. Let me do the unmuting so we can say our farewells. That should do it. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Lori.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
You're
Bye,
Have
everyone.
a great day. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for the horse whisperer.
I love that.
Take good care, everyone. Take good care. Oh, so sweet to see you all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sangha.